Hey everybody, Mike here in the Light Runner. It is Friday, January the 8th, and I still got a full day of work, but we've got a trip to Taber, Alberta planned today. Middle of nowhere, Alberta. It's not nowhere, it's actually close to LA, Lethbridge, Alberta. So what we're going to be doing is later today when the kids are off school and the day's done, we're going to load up them. We'll have the car ready to go, and we're going to take on the drive from Calgary to Taber. It is a 247 kilometer drive, and right now it is minus 22 in the car. Check this out. So as you can see, it's sitting at minus 22 here in Calgary. Well, here we are. The car is full. It's done charging, and I've punched in the coordinates for where we're going. 246 kilometers. Starting in Calgary, working our way all the way over to Taber. Now, if I think we'll have time, I'm going to do a pit stop in High River just to see if that little charger, it's not a supercharger, it's just a charger. If that charger is online, we don't need to charge there. Where we're going to charge is in Lethbridge, which also is not a supercharger, but it's a level 2 at a PV Mart. I think it's an 80 amp, so it charges at a really good rate. By the time we get back, we'll have an extra, I don't know, 80 to 100 kilometers of range, which will easily get us to Taber and back, and then I can charge overnight for the next day. We're on our way. It's minus 17 out here now, and it's getting quite foggy out, but what I think we're going to do is we'll pit stop into High River. They've moved the little L2 charger there, and I'm hoping they've made it bigger, so we're going to do a quick pit stop there just to check it out. We're not really going to charge for long at all. I just want to get a sampling off it and confirm the rate is either better than before or the same, and then we'll be on our way to LA, Lethbridge, Alberta. Oh yeah. Hey everyone, I thought I'd share with you two news items that I read about recently that I thought were pretty interesting. One was a Tesla caught fire while it was charging at a supercharger. A lot of the aluminum structure burnt. Tesla's investigating, and so are the fire investigators, and that's it. This hits news worldwide because everybody gets all excited about when an electric car catches fire. That every year, I think it's something like 450 internal combustion vehicles catch fire. Every year, that many vehicles catch fire. Based on the number of cars worldwide electric, the percentage is below a fraction of a single percent anyway, so it's really nothing to be alarmed about. Curious to learn what the cause was, and of course, the nice thing with Tesla is you know that they will be on doing something about it. News item number 2 is Faraday Future at the CES show in Vegas. They announced their new electric vehicle, the FF. A couple of things on what they announced. You know, the one body design that they could stretch out the base and add batteries and then put different bodies on top. It kind of reminds me of what Tesla's doing already. If you look at the pictures of Tesla or go to any of the storefronts where you can see the body or the shell of the car, it's a battery with 2 mounting points, and you can really put any body on there. So I think that idea has been borrowed. The idea of stretching out the battery pack, I kind of like that. That's a nice twist. Add more capacity. Now what I find most interesting is they built it using kind of an F1 body, which I'm not going to be buying right now. Either they're keeping things very secret or they haven't thought of that yet. So anyways, I thought it was interesting, and if they come out with innovative ideas, I think it'll just push Tesla to stay on the top of their game, which I believe they already are. Out of all the EV manufacturers, Tesla is at the top of their game. Are there things they could do better and fix? Yes, absolutely, but definitely top of their game. Currently sitting at minus 22, so we left home, it was minus 17, so I wonder, I don't think it'll get much lower than minus 25-ish, but so far so good. Alright, that building ahead of us there is the new PV Mart right here in the front. So we'll let the... Yeah, I'm just going to back in and then we'll check out what speed we can charge at. Alright, so here's the port. It's a nice Sun Country electric charging station and 70 amp charger here in High River, Alberta. And it is online. Good to know. Okay, I'm going to go unplug and we will carry on our way. This is the small town of Nanton, Alberta. It's on our way to Lethbridge, and they've got a really neat aviation museum here on the right. See that fighter jet? There's a Canadian fighter jet from way back. Hey kids, who wants to stop at the candy store? No.
It's right there. Just turn that.
Oh, look, the sign's flashing. There it is, up on the left. All right, we made it to another small town. This one is called Claresholm, Alberta. 240 kilometers of range on the battery, and our nav says we're 87 kilometers away from Lethbridge, Alberta. So we are getting there. It's incredibly foggy out here. It's it was minus 23. We got up to minus 25, and here in Claresholm, it's minus 19 in the fog and the cold. Alright, we just made it to the town of Fort McLeod, and small little town again. This is, I think, the last town before we make it over to Lethbridge. So we are 55 kilometers out of Lethbridge, and I've got 178 kilometers of range left on the dash, and the car figures we've got 134 with the weather as it is. So okay, we made it to Lethbridge, Alberta. The Light Runner just covered 200 kilometers in the freezing cold. It's minus 19 right now. I have dropped Tammy and the kids off at Boston Pizza. It's a nice restaurant. They got all sorts of great food. So they are going to go get a table, and they're going to order up my supper. And by the time I park and get over there, which will be about 15 minutes, I think, because it's a little over a kilometer away, I'll be ready to sit down and eat. So let's have a look. This is the PV Mart with the Sun Country charger. It's an L2 80 amp. We're just passing the front of the PV Mart store, and there it is up on the right. So they got a nice little space carved out. Looks like people have already parked in here, so I'm just going to pull in and park and get set up. Alright, I got the the Light Runner all plugged in to the EV charging spot here at PV Mart. It's a beauty. It's a 70 amp charger, and we're going to get the full charge. And we made it here with 80. It actually charged a bit. I think it was 81 when we got here. Look at that, minus 19 degrees Celsius in Lethbridge, Alberta. So there's the Sun Country. I think it's an 80 amp charger. We're getting 70 amps to the car. Had a look at the car and check out the frosting that we received because of the cold. Everything outside of the car has got a nice coating of frost. Yep. So we're going to leave the car here. See you in about an hour, car. Hello, EV Nation. Look at that. I'm at the Boston Pizza. Check out the big snow pile here. It only took me 7 minutes to get here. Now by the car it said it was 2.4 kilometers away. I think as the mic runs, it was probably 1.7 kilometers. It's not bad. 7 minutes. The colder it gets, the faster you run, apparently. That was nice and refreshing. And it's actually not that bad. The wind's not blowing, so it's pretty comfortable out here. So I'm going to go have a nice supper with everybody, and then I'm going to do this run all over again, grab the car, and then we'll be good to go. Now the nice thing is our hotel is much closer to the PV Mart, so I won't have this issue when we overnight at the hotel. Miker out. Hello, EV Nation. Miker here, back in the Light Runner, and yeah, I find you don't run as fast after you've had supper, so I'll have to factor that into my next run. But made it back to the car with 194 kilometers, and remember we left it around 81, I think it was. Still minus 19 and chilly, but now we've got plenty of kilometers to do the 50-kilometer trip to Tabor and then 50 kilometers back. I'll probably end up using about 160 of that, what's in there, and then I'll charge up over. And this is the lovely town of Tabor, Alberta. The Light Runner has made it officially into the middle of nowhere. It's only minus 17 here, which is cold. And here we're going to watch our son do some curling, and then we're going to take him back to LA, Lethbridge, Alberta. Alright, we're getting close. We've got 8 kilometers of range left, and we're 6.2 kilometers away. The problem is, go ahead and switch it there, Tammy. The trip computer says we're going to make it at 0 range left. Hello everybody. I think I've already introduced you to my navigator over here. My navigator thought it'd be a good idea to take some video of the screen, what the battery was at, and while we weren't looking at the nav system, we missed our turnoff, causing us to lose probably about 5-7 kilometers on the way back to the hotel. A detour, if you will, which I've done before with this navigator. So as we drove by, we saw this charger sitting here. It's the Water Pure and Simple building. They've put a L2 charger on the outside of their building, and they've made it available. Looks like I've seen it on PlugShare before, and now I know exactly where it is, thanks to my navigator.
Which we had trouble navigating to after we saw it. So we
Yeah,
got here
so
flatline.
let's take a look at what she did. Yep, she had us arrive here with 1 kilometer. I've already hopped out and plugged in, so we're already at 2 kilometers. Nice thing about this charger is these good folks have deployed a Sun Country 70 amp charger. So we are filling pretty quickly. I think we'll only need about 10 minutes here. What do you have to say for yourself, Navigator? Yes, we're here. Nobody had to push the car, so that's good. We didn't want to take it too far into the 0 because I've never been this low in range in this temperature, so I don't really have a whole lot of experience as to how far we can dip into reserve when it's this cold, because we kind of can chew through our energy much faster than we would in the summer when we last used to do this kind of excitement. So what we're going to do is, because we only have 5.2 kilometers to get to our hotel, you can see that right there, I'm going to charge the car up to probably about 15 or 20 kilometers. That's all we need. That'll get us to the hotel. I can drop off the bags and Tammy and the kids, and then I will drive the kilometer over, it's not even a kilometer then, to the PV Mart, and we'll charge up overnight and wake up to a full battery, which is always nice to see. Much nicer to see than a battery that's sitting at that. But we're getting a good fill rate here. So we'll just sit here for another 5-10 minutes, and then we'll be on our way. Got some excitement for the night, thanks to my wife. Well, I'm back at the PV Mart in Lethbridge. We're done for the day and made it back here. I dropped Tammy off at the hotel just 2 minutes ago and made it over here. And the car's now showing 0 kilometers. And let me show you what things really are. So we've got 0 kilometers. It's minus 17 here in Lethbridge. And if I look at the battery over here, yep, 0 kilometers. So we are dipping into our reserve, but we're still running nice and toasty warm here in the car, and we made it. Knew we would. So it's kind of nice that we got that pit stop over there that covered up for our delay due to my navigator mistake. And now we're going to plug the car in, and by morning when we're ready to go out and about, the car will be full. So we're going to let the light runner soak up some electrons, and I'm going to go soak up some Z's. Good night. Good morning, people of the known world. It is Sunday morning, January the 9th. My phone says it's minus 26 out here, and my phone is right. The car says it's minus 19, but I've been heating the car for the last hour and a half because we went for breakfast, and I just had a friend drop me off here. So I'm going to unplug the car, go back and pick everybody up, and we're off to Tabor for a day of curling, and we got some back and forth to do. We got plenty of range in the car. So overnight we got filled up to 423 kilometers, and remember we got here at 0, so that's what I added. And on the dash, that's what we're showing. So we are all ready to go for some fun in the freezing cold. At least we'll be sitting inside. So we got curling on the go. All right, we made it back to Tabor. We've got tons of range left, 317 kilometers, and we're going to go back to Lethbridge after this set of curling, go swimming, and then we're going to come back over here too. So we should have plenty of range to make the trip back and the trip back to Tabor and then back to Lethbridge. And also I might even charge while we're at the pool back in Lethbridge. So we're off to go watch the kids curl. Good luck, Ethan. Ethan just finished up the first round of curling out in Tabor, and we've just come back to Lethbridge because the hotel we're staying at has an amazing water slide. So I just dropped Tammy and the kids off at McDonald's. Special treat today. We're going to have a quick lunch so that we can get into the pool fast and have lots of fun in the pool. I'm just going to run, and because we're here, I'm going to drop the car off for a top-up at PV Mart, and then we don't have to worry about range at all. In Lethbridge here, we don't have a Tesla supercharger yet, and so what we're all anxiously awaiting is for Tesla to drop a supercharger into Lethbridge here that will open up our trips into Montana, because that's just probably half an hour south of here is the US-Canada border. Tesla, we need a supercharger in Lethbridge and in Calgary too, if since you're dropping superchargers. That'd be much appreciated. I'm back in the light runner. Just finished it must have been like a 3-hour swim with the kids. They're actually still in the pool. They're going to be coming out with Tammy by the time I get back. I'm going to go get some food for dinner to take with us, and we're on our way to go curling. And while the car was sitting here plugged in, Managed to charge up to 356. Love this charger at the PV Mart. Look at that, 70 amps. And kind of chilly outside. It's sitting at minus 20. Now, one of the things that popped up on our way back, and I don't know if it's from the cold or if there's snow buildup on my sensors up front, but it says driver assistance features unavailable, so I can't do cruise control or auto steer, which is I just noticed that on our way back earlier. So it's not a big deal because we've got a service scheduled actually at 40,000-ish. I had called in around 37,000 to schedule service, but we're putting it on fairly quickly. So I've got a service scheduled here, probably happens sometime in January, so that's probably when we'll get that looked at. But not a big deal. Car's nice and toasty warm. I'm sitting in here at 24.5, and it's actually it's too hot for me, but I'll take my jacket off and go get the rest of my family. Alright, so I've stopped charging. Pull that out. And basically that end is actually ours, so I got to pull that off. And then that's what just goes back in there. And we're all set. See you soon, Charlie. Quick update. When I went to get food for the kids, I popped into a gas station to use one of those squeegees. They've got, the squeegee with the windshield washer fluid, antifreeze. And it is so cold that the antifreeze, it was all like Slurpee. Anyways, I pulled it out. It was wet enough at the bottom, and I squeegeed off the grime and the dirt that was on the sensors in the front and the main sensor array that does the radar, the LiDAR down below that little brick in the grill. Clean that off, and my warning is gone, and we were just doing auto steer and cruise control on the highway, so it's not an issue at all. It was just a buildup of snow and stuff on there, and that's kind of what I thought it was. They're still frosted up. It's still minus 21 out here. Now we're supposed to get a break from this cold weather tonight. It says around midnight it's going to get to about minus 13, and then tomorrow it'll probably get even to minus 10 during the day. So we're going to get a break from this cold snap, which is really, really nice. Looking forward to it. This cold weather is too cold. Well, we're done a full day of curling, or a session of curling, and we're on our way back, and autopilot, auto steer are working nicely, but this incredibly cold weather, it's minus 25, it's really hard to hold it still. Minus 25 is wreaking havoc on our tire pressure sensors. I think the left front tire there is showing that it's at 2.9 bar. It was down to 2.6 bar, 2.8 bar. I checked it, and visually it looks like it's where it should be, so it hasn't gone down. But the cold weather sure is confusing things. In our average usage here, we're at about 356, so definitely a little higher than normal as we get going. It was kind of nice. While we were at the curling arena, I found a plug-in at the side of the building in the parking lot, just a 15 amp 110 volt. So I plugged in, and we actually picked up, I think, about 10 or 12 kilometers while we were there charging. And then before we left, I turned on the heating in the car to warm us up, and let it warm up for about half an hour, and then I burned off those 12 kilometers, which is okay. Didn't cost us any range at all, and we came back to a nice toasty warm car. And now we're heading back towards Lethbridge. We had a nice surprise. Grandma and Grandpa joined us, so we're going to go grab a nice Tim Hortons coffee in Coaldale, which is right beside Lethbridge, and then we'll be probably back for a swim today. There we go, the coldest the Light Runner has ever been in, minus 26 degrees Celsius. The previous record was minus 25. That's the coldest the light runner's been in. It might even get colder. It's supposed to be getting warmer. What's going on? Ooh, look at that. Up here on the left, Tim Hortons. And that's where we are going now. We talked Tammy's mom and dad into going for a coffee and maybe a donut to celebrate Ethan's curling, even though he didn't win. So he only gets half a donut. Maybe not even that much. But somebody's getting a donut, and it's not Ethan. What do you think of that, Ethan? No donut for you.
Sad.
You're sad. Well, maybe.
I think you curled good enough for a donut.
Yeah, you did. Maybe we'll give you a little bit of a donut.
A fraction of a donut.
A fraction of a donut. Here we are, Tim Hortons. This is a lot like deja vu. I'm back at the level 2 charger here in Lethbridge at the PV Mart. I dropped off Tammy, and the rest of the kids are at the hotel pool. I'm just going to plug in the light runner and let them charge up all night, and we're going to wake up to a full car in the morning. And then we've got to run, we're going to run to church. Then we're going to run over to Tabor for half a day or so of curling. Then we're going to come back here, pit stop at PV Mart again, and top up so that we got enough range to make it probably over to Okotoks. I think this weekend is going to be a 800 kilometer weekend. It might even be a little more than that. I'll double check the numbers and give you an update, but it's going to be well over 1,000 kilometers this weekend. All electric and pretty much all on public charging. So this trip was definitely made possible by PV Mart and the Sun Country chargers that have been installed here. Just love having them. That's it. It's still cold. It's minus 22. I'm hoping to wake up to a warmer day. That's what the forecast says, but apparently to be a weather person, you don't need to be accurate at all, ever. The hotel we're at has one of the best water slides here. It's a Holiday Inn, and the kids love the water slides. Of course, it's too cold because when they built the building, they put the water slide on the outside of the building, and it's just too cold to run water through it, and kids would slide down and freeze and stick to the water slide, which I don't see a problem with that. We'd sign the waiver. Seems like a fun thing to try to do, but they wouldn't let us. It's a beautiful morning at 8:12 a.m. on January the 10th. I'm back at the light runner, and the car is fully charged. So all I need to do now is unplug and go back and pick up Tammy and the kids. And we are off on our day. And this is the second last pit stop here at the PV Mart in Lethbridge. We're going to head out to Tabor for a day of curling. And then on the way back home to Calgary, we're going to pit stop here at the PV Mart. Yeah, it's going to be a fun day. Let me show you what the batteries look like. First, have a look at that. Minus 14. It's actually about minus 17 out there. So the walk this morning was really nice. Nice and quiet. Beautiful outside. Beautiful full battery, 423. We're still plugged in. We are done in Tabor. We're heading for Calgary now. And we probably have, 3 hours, 3.5 hours or so. We're going to pit stop for dinner somewhere. We're going to grab coffee somewhere. We have some great news from the curling weekend. Ethan, what'd you do?
I won.
And did you win prizes?
Yeah, money and candy.
Money and candy. His first money win ever in curling. Age 13. Good job, Ethan. We're proud of you.
Congrats.
Good win. So we're looking forward to a nice drive. It's actually really nice and warm out. It's only minus 2 degrees Celsius. So we are all excited about a nice drive home.
Good range.
And getting good range. Yeah, what do we got on the car? Our battery is sitting at 315 kilometers left. And yeah, we should get really good range because it's warmed up so much. Yeah, gonna have a nice leisurely ride home. Don't have to worry about any bad weather. No snowstorms. Everything is good in the Light Runner. Talk to you guys soon. So we're just pit stopping here a little bit in Lethbridge, Alberta, our final stop on our way home. We're going to pit stop in Okotoks for supper, but here we're going to top up with some charge. We've got 222 kilometers of range remaining, and let's show you how far we're going. And I've dialed in the address of the Big Rock Inn in Okotoks. That's a Chinese food restaurant. We're going to go there for supper. So 184 kilometers is how far away it is from here. The computer says we're going to make it short by 10% of range. So what I'm going to do is top up so that I can make it there with probably 25%. I can take it maybe to 300 or 320. I think that'll be plenty to get us to Okotoks, and then we'll be charging again at dinner and have plenty of range to get back home to Calgary, Alberta. So yeah, we're just going to read, play some games, and wait a little bit here in Lethbridge. Kilometers so far. So we're sitting at 267. And to get to Okotoks now, the computer's saying we're going to make it with roughly right empty or 0% range remaining, providing that we go at about 292 watt hours per kilometer, which I think is very doable, even with a bit of a headwind. So, hello, people of the grid. We are a couple of kilometers out of High River. We've decided we're going to go to Boston Pizza. The cool thing is we don't have to. We can make it all the way to Okotoks, which is 27 kilometers away, but we just decided we wanted pizza for dinner, or I do anyway. And for the first time ever, I've tried range mode just to extend my range, and it is amazing. I'm seeing almost summer range with everybody in the car, with our luggage loaded in the Thule box. In the 85D, it's a dual motor, and what range mode does is it torque sleeps one of the motors, the front one I believe. So what that does is it just makes the front motor freewheel, so it's just spinning, and because there's no contact, it's a magnetic field, it's spinning in air, so there's absolutely no drag from that front motor, and it just basically uses the rear motor to propel the car forward. Range mode, definitely your friend if you need to stretch out a trip, especially a long one. Alright, I'm plugged in, and here we are sitting in High River. 33 kilometers of range left. It's minus 7 degrees Celsius. So we are charging, and just to show you where that range mode button is, right here. That's all you got to do. Range mode on, range mode off. So I've turned it off because we're not going to need it anymore. We are going to all walk over to the restaurant, which is not too far away. It is... Hello, baby. It is right over there. Boston Pizza. Right over there. So we're all going to walk over together. Yeah. Nice weekend trip of about 840 kilometers. The amazing thing this weekend, all done on L2 chargers. Alright, I'm back in the car. Took about an hour and 15 minutes. I figured I would come pick everybody up. So we just added 89 kilometers to the car here at the L2 charger at PV Mart. And we only need about 50 kilometers to get home, so we've got plenty of range. It is January the 10th, and it's about 9:35 p.m. We've just dropped everybody off at home, got a little bit of unloading to do of the stuff in the Thule box and in the front trunk, and that's it. That wraps up an amazing weekend of 840 kilometers of driving, pretty much all on L2 chargers. The only charge we brought from home was the charge that got us, of course, to Lethbridge. No, we charged in Lethbridge at dinner and then went to Tabor and back. But it was all L2 once we were out there. So 840 kilometers on a family curling trip to LA, Lethbridge, Alberta. Great. We got to try range mode, which actually worked really good at extending some range. So yeah, another successful trip. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting a ton more stuff on the car and some updates as well.